Welcome to the Hot Tubs.
People who I don't really truly love, I don't worry about as much.
They have places like this all over the country.
Rob and I are very much in love.
Too many emotional strings attached.
Oh my God.
You're just trying to get your 15 minutes.
I like licking girls' teeth.
Oh my God.
Why did you go home?
Reality TV 101.
You kids have fun arguing semantics. I'm gonna go meet the professor regarding the alien test subject.
Welcome to Vanderpump Robs, a podcast about reality TV by two of the hottest writers out there. I'm Rob Schulte, and with me, of course, is Kate Shapiro. Hello, Kate.
And the hottest people out there.
That is true. That's true. Hot people, hot writers. You can't even touch us. Now, of course, this episode is released early in the bonus feed, but when it's released to the public, Kate, we have an announcement to make. We wrote a book, Kate. I'm so proud of that book.
It's going to be a good book.
Yes.
I think.
Some say it already
is. It certainly took a long time to write it.
No shit. Now, let's not bury the lead. If people haven't seen People magazine, we've written a book called Reality TV is the Devil, and Don't You Forget It. It's a tale as old as time. Vanderpump Rules, the story.
Yeah. And the fandom, the story. And the internet, the story. And how reality TV has made this world so fucking crazy, the story. Like, you can really look at a lot that's happened in the last 10 years through the lens of Vanderpump Rules, which is fucking crazy.
Yes.
Because it feels niche, and it is niche, but at the same time, like, a lot of shit happened during the run, and you can track that shit via the show. Like the rise of influencers, the reality TV president, Black Lives Matter, fucking COVID. Like,
Yeah.
it's, you think it's just about reality TV? It's about everything. Really.
Yeah. Forget everything you thought you knew about Vanderpump Rules, and then remember it again while reading this book. That's what I would have to say about it. But we'll probably be doing some press about this in some of your other favorite podcasts, so forgive us if you hear it more than once. And also, for the next, I don't know, so many months until it's actually out, but please pre-order the book. The link is in the show notes. And I think the interesting thing that I really want to get at is because I'm so excited. And I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anyone else but you, Kate. This is a dream come true. I really, really like what we came up with. But it's not just retelling what happened every season. That's kind of what we pitched it, because we're like, oh, cool, an oral history of Vanderpump Rules. And then certain things happened where some people would give us interviews and other people wouldn't. And we're like, well, we need to figure out a better way to tell this tale. And then we started going into the content mines and excavating old podcasts and old interviews and old blogs and old vlogs. And then people started coming out of the woodwork wanting to talk to us. And I think it made for a very interesting 300-plus page book.
Yeah, that Bravo did not want published.
Yep. And told us directly.
We went to them first, and they said, no way you're going to do this.
No one even reads books. And we're like, okay, thanks for taking the meeting.
New York Times bestselling author Sheena Shea would disagree.
Uh-huh.
And because of that, I think it makes it more interesting, because we had to interview people from, like, people, and we'll do a lot of like podcasts and other maybe Substack or other sort of things that like didn't make it to the book and stuff like that. But like people that are like fans that met Jax once drunk in 2012 to like people on the show, to people who worked on the show, to people who did not want to be named under any capacity and had a like major freak out about like NDAs, yes. Like the kind of stories that make these shows what they are, and not the people who you can go to fucking Sandoval's podcast. He probably doesn't have one and is probably unavailable right now. But you could go to Lala's podcast and hear what Lala wants you to know about things. But, you know, we talk to the people who really are telling you how, like what really happened and how it really was.
For example, you know, you said you go to Lala's podcast to hear what Lala wants you to know about something. Well, what Lala wants you to know in 2026 is different than what Lala wants you to know in 2018. So comparing and contrasting those things are really fun too, because that's part of what tells the tale. And we're going to do a bonus episode, folks, where we do a little bit more of a deep dive into like the process of this book. So, if you get the bonus episodes at vanderpumprobs.com, we'll get you there. But yeah, like Kate said, we're going to do Substacks. We're going to do other things. But the one thing I want to point out is that inevitably this is going to come up on like Katie Maloney's podcast or Tom Schwartz's podcast. And they're going to say something like, they don't know what happened. They weren't there. This book doesn't make any sense. It's all bullshit. But that's kind of the point, right? This is a show about liars. What is the truth? And that is kind of a through line through the book. And I think it's going to be something you're going to want to get your hands on sooner rather than later.
Hey, Katie, all the rest of the cast members, if you want your say, we can release a deluxe edition like it's a fucking Olivia Rodrigo album. And we'll include your side of the story as well. That is definitely media trained by Lori Kay. I would love to hear it. We love the haters here at Vanderpump Robs.
Yeah, and we even love the... You know what? I'll save that for the bonus episode. Kate, also, when we do that bonus episode, I'm going to need you to explain to me the updated Taylor Frankie Paul information.
Yes. Yes.
All right, let's talk about the Valley first. This is season 3, episode 14, Hips Don't Lie. Picks up where the last episode left off. Janet is crying and freaking out because, let's face it, she's getting bullied at the fish taco joint. I wouldn't say I'm not blaming Janet for this, but Janet, it's tough that you went to lunch with these people. I wish you would have gone to lunch with someone else.
Especially if this is what you were going to do. And I guess the one piece of new information is that, new for me, you could tell me if it's not new, but that Janet has some kind of trauma around what Danny did. And it's bringing up the trauma, and that is an blanket excuse for all of her behavior, and I think that's how she's going to be using it from now on.
You're not wrong, but she brought up, I believe, last season, which you and I did not cover together, that an ex-boyfriend of hers was an addict, and Nia, of course, got very defensive. Because this was actually just, I would say, a tame Janet moment where she was just like, hey, I understand when people abuse substances. Like, for me, it was really extreme. It sucked. I had to get out of there. And Nia's like, don't compare my husband to your heroin addict boyfriend or ex-boyfriend. I don't know if it was that far, but that's the vibe it gave. And now I think we are seeing a little bit of reality here of yes, Janet probably has bad experiences with that person, but also like it feels like Janet's in quicksand. She's like, aren't I supposed to call out bad behavior on a show like this? But now I'm just getting screamed at by Nia and Tom Schwartz. What?
Yeah, the problem with Janet is I'm so willing. I've dated addicts and I've known addicts, and that is
You've
hard.
podcasted with them.
Yeah, I wrote a book with an addict. Look at me. I could be triggered at any moment.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. She says it in confessionals and she says it on the phone, but she doesn't sit down and like get real and vulnerable with other people. She always says it in the most defensive or terrible way possible, which she kind of understands. She's like, I could have said all of this really differently, which is what she should apologize for. Mm-hmm. She's like,
I feel like she tried to do that though, right?
She's just so bad at talking to these people, because I think if she sat down and told Nia all this, that Nia would be compassionate, but instead she's like, oh, like I used to date this horrible junkie just like your husband. And it's like, I would also get defensive in this scenario. Like, that's just condescending and also just rude, and you don't know the whole story. It's so easy to piss someone off that way, I guess.
I would say.
And I do think Janet has some points, but she just cannot get them across. And everyone is rightfully saying she just runs away anytime she could. If she had stayed at lunch and said, I dated someone who was an addict, so bringing this stuff up could be really hard. If there's anything that these fuckers understand, it's using some past traumatic thing from 10 years ago to just be a blanket excuse for all of their behavior. So they would be like, they jump on top of it.
Absolutely. I think the hard part here is why the conversation doesn't happen is because Nia annoys the shit out of Janet regardless of Danny. And so she'll say something that's maybe condescending, maybe not, but it feels passive aggressive or something similar. And Janet's just like, oh my God, I can't even put up with this person. And it is apparent to me, at least. And I see myself in Janet there. That, to be honest, like, I don't want to deal with this. I get the fuck out of here. Your husband's a weirdo. I gotta go.
Yeah, but you could tell Nia feels the same way about Janet, but
Yes.
Nia is willing to stay at the table and fight. And that's what I want to see.
She does buy her a coconut later in the episode.
Yeah, I think they were drinking so heavily. I mean, they took off all of their clothes on a not nude beach.
Yeah.
So,
Well, who knows? Maybe all beaches are nude in sandals or wherever
and also
they went.
September in Puerto Vallarta, I'm sure it was hot as fuck. And
Yeah.
they're drinking all day.
God, I love that this is when they did that. Kristen's like, this is the death rattle of Vanderpump Rules. Remember, we used to do this when you watched a show with people you were entertained by. So let's run into the ocean naked again. Stassi's not here and never will be, but remember when she was?
Yeah, we didn't even get a flashback.
No,
I'm pretty
oof,
sure.
that's rough. Oh man, I guess the other big thing is Zach's birthday party this episode. His hoe era, his big gay hoe era birthday party.
Yeah. I mean, I love that it was on a fucking hop on, hop off tourist bus.
Yeah. Do we think that Nia and Danny stayed back strictly because they had to feed the baby, or because they didn't want to be seen on a big gay double-decker bus? Christian values.
That probably. I also think that Danny is so about to fucking explode. Like, he is such a powder keg. I think Nia's terrified to bring him in public.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, probably they didn't want to be on the big gay bus.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad for them. Those are some of the funnest buses to be on.
You know what? Don't put me on a bus. That's why all these fights are happening. Like,
Well, we know your thoughts on buses, Kate. You've been stuck on them.
I went on one party bus for my bachelorette party, and it was funny because it was like a school bus that my friend found on TikTok for like $200, and there was like a teenage boy asleep in the corner while we were like having a bachelorette party, and it just like drove around, and they're like, you have to duck when we see cops and stuff like that. And it was outside. Being outside is helpful because I get car sick, and being like stuffed into those Sprinter vans is just so uncomfortable. And you know these motherfuckers are driving 2 hours to get to the club and back.
Oh, yeah.
They're staying at a big resort that's far away from everything because it's the only place that will let them film there.
On the way to the gay bar for Zach's party, Zach gets conked in the head by a street sign,
Ouch.
which is terrible. I hate that this happened to him, but maybe one of the funniest things I've ever seen on television.
It was very funny.
For reality
And he
TV.
took it like a champ. He was
Oh,
like, I'm
yeah.
going to go get stitches and then get fucked up.
Well, this is the best part about taking a couple of opioids and then drinking a lot of booze.
I was
can
like,
get
he's going to have a
bonked on the
good
head.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking about Sandoval and Victoria on Halvesies, but then also talking about Jackass. And I was just reminded by Molly that all of those guys were on lots of painkillers. It's not like they could withstand pain better than another human being. And I was like, oh yeah, that's probably what happened with Zack here too.
Yeah, they were all fucked up. It's actually more impressive to watch New Jackass, where it's like a sober set, and that
Yeah.
Steve-O is still doing this crazy shit, like raw dogging it. Because Watching old Jackass, what's so crazy is how fucked up they were.
Yes.
Like, they were drunk. And that was fun. It was like, oh, me and the boys hanging out. But
it was nice to see Bam on at least a couple of scenes in Best and Last. I just saw it. But the problem
well,
with
those are still from 4 years ago
they
when
were
he was
still
fucked up.
The problem with this new Jackass movie is that it didn't need to be made, and it felt like
yeah. It made me realize what a jackass head I really am. Because I was
same.
like, oh, I've seen a lot of all these clips I've seen.
Yeah.
My friends who hadn't seen all of those or were newer to Jackass, they loved it. And I was like, oh, but I already know about all this.
When the post-credit scene of just the like door stopper that they flipped, I was like, oh yeah, that's like episode 1 of Jackass. And it's just how that episode ended. It was interesting, though, with the really old clips of them calling Johnny Knoxville PJ.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, back to this. Hey, guess who gets really drunk? Everyone, including Danny.
And Brittany, who said earlier that day that she was not going to be drinking.
Yep.
And she got weepy drunk.
She's fucked up. She is crying.
I thought Jesse was going to go for the jugular, and he still won't with her.
No, he won't. He needs to, but he won't.
What is it about her that disarms them so completely?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. Ever since she's been on this show. Why? She's not any sweeter than anyone else. I think people think she's dumb. Whether or not she is, I don't know. I've never met her.
Yeah, I got to protect the dumb girl from the horrors of Hollywood.
Sorry, she's been there for 15 years, folks.
Yeah, I don't know how she... I wish I could maintain this sense of everyone needing to protect me. Like when they were talking about the drinking thing, she was like, I'm going to cry. I don't do anything mean. And I'm like, but you're still an alcoholic. I yelled it at the screen. Yeah. And I'm like... We've talked about this. Just because you're not screaming or sexually assaulting someone does not mean that you're not an asshole when drunk. Like
No
the
shit.
fact that at Zach's birthday party she like broke down in tears and made everything about her and needed like people's help crossing the street and needs to be put to bed. That's like that's not someone I want to hang out with. Like that's a problem. Just because you're not like literally throwing something at someone doesn't mean that you're not the worst.
And the Danny side of this, I really think that he would have still been annoying because he's just an annoying guy, but he wouldn't have also been pissed off if Nia said to stop shaking his hips. Like, because that is like so specific to, and this isn't blaming Nia, it is just what happened. He seemed to be doing just standard annoying guy stuff, and then he was having fun while drinking, and she was like, don't shake your hips, don't gyrate, honey. People are going to be uncomfortable. And it's like, so you know what it is, and we've clocked it here, and now he's doing the drunk guy thing who's hyper fixated on one thing to talk to everyone about so they can be like, yeah, that is weird. That is weird, Danny. Get the hell away from me. I don't want to be in this conversation anymore.
And I also think like she was joking a little bit. Like I think she was being a little sarcastic, and he did the hyperfixation drunk guy where that's all he's going to think about for the rest of his life.
Yep. The rest of his life. And then I think that led to him drinking even more because when he's like passed out on the bus, he's just angry. And then I loved when it turned 1 or midnight and he's like, it's my birthday. Everyone say something nice about me. And everyone's just like, shut the fuck up.
I mean, this is my whole problem. Someone needs to ask him, what is wrong? What is wrong with you? Like, this is not... If you're drinking and getting this way, it's because you are upset. And I want to know, like, what's going on. Like, I want to know your trauma. I don't care about Janet's ex-boyfriend, to be perfectly honest. Like,
well, Janet seems to be doing just fine, right? Like, except for, like, not just fine when she's being, facing this trauma, but, like, Danny is, like, actively ruining his own life.
Yeah, like, he knows that these people are weird about him when he's drinking, and he's doing it on purpose. Because last season, he was not drinking because he knows these people are weird about him. And honestly, they need to tell him what they want, because sort of Team Danny on the fact that they're like, oh, you can drink as much as you want to, and at the same time saying it makes us uncomfortable when you drink. You need to give this man instructions. He's a fucking idiot.
Yep.
And
he is
if
the
he
fifth
doesn't
child,
follow
like
the
they
instructions, then you can have a fight about it. Because
Yes.
like now
I mean,
you're
that's
giving him an
great.
argument to make. Because what do you want from him?
It's interesting. Well, it's not interesting. It's stupid. But you're right. That would be the best thing. And it would be an amazing conversation, too, to be like, yo, Danny, we'll even give you a heads up. We've not been clear. Off mic, off camera, we've not been clear on what we want from you, and it's driving you insane, and I recognize that. Let's get on camera, have the conversation of like, what we're mad about, what we're not mad about, what it actually is. Let's get down to the semantics that we see on every other show. And then you should be good to go, because there won't be any problems and everything's all cleared up. And then when he breaks whatever it is because he has a problem, then he's got no one to blame but himself. And it'll be wonderful. But that won't happen.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm both this and In the City, I'm so sick of the inauthentic fake conversations. Like they just want in the moment to be right. They want to give nothing away about themselves. They like that Danny fucks up because they can blame everything on him at all times. It's just boring television instead of like, I want to see them. I want to know what's wrong with Danny. If he's your friend, I want to know what he's going through. I want him to be like, you know, all these kids, it's stressing me out. My marriage is stressing me out. And, you know, here's my history with alcohol. Like, we don't know what his history with alcohol is or his connection to alcohol. And, like, nobody seems to be concerned. So I'm like, you guys are all assholes and hypocritical.
Yeah.
Like, don't make me side with this Disney Channel motherfucker.
Let's go! I'm right there with you. He's a fucking loser. And I don't want to even, I don't need him to have an inch. And right now they're giving him at least 7 to hang on to. Kate, we should talk about In the City, but we should do it after this first break. And remember, folks, realitytvistthedevil.com to pre-order our book, which you can do right now from all major platforms. You like to buy books from bookshop.org that'll support your local bookshop? Well, you can choose it there. Or you can get it from Barnes & Noble. There's a lot of options. realitytvistthedevil.com.
Zack is so threatened by Rob. Threatened by Rob.
You kids have fun arguing semantics.
Well, Kate, it's season 1, episode 7. You only get married twice, which aired June 30th, 2026 on the Bravo network. It's In the City. And the blurb is, Lindsay and Kenny spark an unexpected bond. Kenny gets some advice from Carl. Yvonne and Nick's Kyle gets some advice from Carl. And Yvonne and Nick's wedding dinner unravels as underlying tensions erupt at the table. I'm going to say it right now, folks. This might be the best episode of In the City, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think my problem with this, so I've been rewatching season 2 of Mormon Wives.
Okay.
And there's something, it's because I have nothing else to watch. And so
was that the season when we were writing the book that was airing? Or was that season 3?
I think so. I think it just started. I remember right after we were done, I'm like, watch the first episode of Mormon Wives. And you were like, I'm sick of reality TV.
I was like, but I'll watch something other than Vanderpump Rules for a minute.
But I think there's something about that show that's relaxing. So when I'm like, oh, I just want to like sit and eat dinner, or I just want to like go to sleep, there's something about that is like, they're all in these like luxurious athleisure wear. They all look comfortable sitting with their like $9 coffee lattes that have like 80 grams of sugar in them. And when they cry about things, like their dads, which we see a lot of here, it feels real because they feel like they have a mandate from God to talk about this stuff. And so there's an actual reason. They have like, I want to be open about this because I want to change the Mormon faith. I think there's a kernel of truth there. They obviously want to be influencers and not have to have jobs and be famous TikTokers. But I do think they believe that, like, oh, I should share this. I should be open about this. Whereas it's so obvious that when Kenny and Lindsay do it, it's either to win at an argument, to have an excuse, or to have a storyline for the show. And it's so inauthentic that I find myself hating them and not believing anything that they say.
This was one of the most egregious Lindsay, Kenny, Gavin episodes. It's so bad.
Yeah. Like, Jen in the season 2, that's when she said she's suicidal and can't finish the show. Oh, man. And you can tell she's really suicidal. Like, I don't know if she's acting, she's the best actress ever. Like,
call Ben.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But I couldn't imagine anyone in Bravo saying that there's any sort of earnestness or authenticity. Like, it's all about getting like the funniest joke in, and I think that comes from Housewives. But Housewives has a different vibe because they're all rich and drunk, like wino type people. So I like when they're snippy with each other, but it doesn't work in the younger shows.
That's so true. Well, it's a beautiful day in New York City. Lindsay, Kyle, Kenny, and Gavin meet up for a totally natural and believable, non-scripted hang with each other. Gavin says that Owen was avoiding answering invasive timeline questions about his divorce. Why would he do that? Why would he be so evasive to us? We're just trying to find out his personal information, and we met him 2 weeks ago as a human being.
Yeah, and all we care about is finding out if he cheated, and we want to out him on television while he's getting a divorce.
Hey, we're just asking questions. We're just asking questions that won't serve us in any way, but we think is going to make good TV, except it takes two to tango here, and we'll get to it later, but like Danielle ends up making it make good TV, but it's not serving their relationship very well, which is funny. And then jump to the other side of town where Danielle and Owen are sharing a beer, and then she pressures him in a harassing type way to get the divorce done faster so that he can impregnate her with his seed.
Yeah. Well, good for her. I mean, I do think he needs to wrap up the divorce before he impregnates someone else. It doesn't look great to a judge, probably. Although I don't know. I don't think he has kids with this woman.
I don't think so. Well, but look, they're not telling us anything about that relationship, which is.
I wonder if part of this marriage was green cardy,
that
which would explain a lot.
Interesting. Well, have you heard of a thing called COVID, Kate? Which I'm still not quite sure what that flashback meant later on when he says that to Amanda, except to be like, shut the hell up, get away from me.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're if they are being secretive, and I would argue later that they're not, is like when she was like, oh, he says they've been married for 4 years, but look at this on this Facebook post. It says they've been married 2 years. And I was like, that doesn't mean that they've been married 2 years. I got married 6 weeks before like my actual ceremony. Plenty of people get married years before their ceremony. And a lot of people who have green card marriages get married years before their actual ceremony.
A lot of people get married after they get let go from their job and then don't have a ceremony for many years.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons that these people just don't think about because they have no knowledge about marriage other than that it's a big party.
And that it would make a really great storyline that's not boring at all on the show. Yeah, when Lindsay's Googling, like, oh, here's the ex-wife. This is her name. And I found her hairstylist. You guys should have hired us, Kenny, when you were trying to find your dad. And it's like, what? Because also she's like, I don't understand why you all couldn't get this information out of Owen. You get some ladies in a room and we'll get that information no matter what. And it's like, guess what? That happens later on in this episode and you don't get any information from Danielle. And if you did, why haven't you done it before? I just hate that like Lindsay and Kenny just like spout things out that just aren't true in a way that's not even entertaining.
I hate these weird gendered like generalizations that Lindsay makes.
Yes.
All women are stalking people. We're all stalkers. Like, don't
we
loop
want a
me into
ring.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all want to get married and stalk like weird ex-wives.
We're all desperate to be parents because all of our parents stopped talking to us in our 20s.
Parent drama. I wouldn't understand because both my parents love me so much.
That is true. Folks, I met both of Kate's parents while writing the book, and God, I just wish I had a family like that.
I know. They love me so much. So,
They treated me as if I was one of their own.
yeah, they loved Rob.
It was strange. It doesn't happen often, but it did. But hey, I got a good mom. My mom's cool. She supports the podcast. Does yours?
No.
Well,
I
it's not a
I think I tell my
competition.
mom not to listen to the podcast. All of the moms in my life can't listen because I do talk shit about them sometimes on the podcast.
That's fair.
And I want to protect my space to do that.
Well, you should. I would hate for you to be triggered on the
I'm going to
podcast.
see her soon. I'll put the podcast on her credit card. She won't
That's great.
notice.
That's what I did. I don't know if my
Yeah.
mom listens to any episodes at all. Lindsay and Kenny do bond over parental issues, and that leads to a scene we'll talk about later on in this episode, because we have to first go over to Yvonne and Nick planning their fake wedding dinner party. This wedding that they planned, I don't know, a week before filming started.
Yeah, Yvonne's trying to make this into a storyline about like, oh, I'm having a really hard time being unemployed. But it seems very like complicated. It's not a clear motivation. Just say you want to have a wedding party with your friends on the show. I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't
It's
matter
fun-
that you were the go-to event planner in New York City. I'm not saying she wasn't successful, but everyone called you.
Yeah, I guess she's probably started her own business and she's trying to like, she planned this so she wants everyone to see how great it was, which is funny, and we'll talk about it later because I found that place to be very tacky.
Yeah, I think Soft Bar would have been a better place to have
Yeah,
that
Soft Bar
party.
looked great. I love that
Yeah.
they just like hearted all the people inside.
Well, I mean, would you have it any other way, Kate?
No. I would go to Soft Bar. I would have a foamed jasmine
That
tea,
jasmine foam. It's that jasmine foam. Kyle, get the
lion's
jasmine foam.
mane, probably like fucking liquid opioid, un-FDA regulated shit that Carl puts in his drinks.
It's the like the boner pills you can get from the bodega next door. Crushed
Rocket
up and
Man.
sprinkled. Yeah, Rhino.
we should. The next book should be the Soft Bar expose.
Well, we know. I was going to say something about Carl, but we'll save that for the paywall. Let's see here. Kyle does visit Soft Bar, and you know, it's not a lot. I guess it was good to see Carl, but Carl was just like, so look, I know you like Amanda, and it would be weird if you said you didn't, but like, are you actually in love with her, or would it be easier to just like cut this thing off now? And Kyle's like, God, I don't know. I've never even thought about that, Carl.
Nobody, I feel like I've seen the same conversation like 6 times with different people. Like nobody, at this point, they don't know about West and Amanda.
Nope.
And Kyle just spent the entire summer drunk as shit. Like telling Amanda, fuck you, bitch, basically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nobody is really putting his ass to the like flame. And I wish they would, because I mean, why did he do that? Like, obvious to these people, their marriage really looks on the rocks, and that they should get divorced because they clearly hate each other. And
Yeah.
it's like people are afraid of Kyle, and if they are afraid, I want to know why.
Yeah.
But I'm sick of this same ass conversation. Just, I don't know. Like, I want to see someone actually give Kyle shit, I guess.
Yeah, I think it would be great. It's someone other than Amanda, because it is tainted that we know about the West stuff, but also like her arguments aren't good, and everyone else always jumps in to also side with her, so she doesn't even get a word in edgewise.
Yeah.
But Lindsay, and Kenny are now best friends because they are going to talk about their horrible parents over Pinot Grigio in, I don't know, where were they? The Fide, Soho, maybe. They just got done eating at Balthazar and decided they were gonna talk about their parents. And the biggest thing out of this is that Kenny hired and probably paid thousands of dollars for a PI that couldn't even go on Facebook, which is insane to me.
It would have been so easy to find these people.
I know.
It's crazy.
It almost feels like maybe he didn't even hire a PI.
Yeah, I hate Lindsay. And this scene is part of why I hate Lindsay. So she was like, my mom left when I was 2, and then we stopped talking, and I'm in my early 20s. And my mom's always saying, oh, I ruined her life. And you know what's so weird? I find myself thinking, you know what, Lindsay? Maybe you did ruin your mom's life. Have you ever thought of that? Like, and I don't want to think that, but like Lindsay using this as a plot device makes me hate her. Like, it makes me want to side with the moms, the mom that hates her so much, the selfish mom. Like,
well, she totally controls the narrative, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know what her mom thinks, and like Lindsay doesn't take any accountability. She is constantly the victim. And maybe this is the origin story of that. My mom left me, so I'm always the victim. And she can't see anything beyond that. Like in this scene, she says, well, I choose partners that aren't healthy. Carl, who had all the problems in the world. We saw your breakup with Carl. He's not the only problem there. He actually was the only one who was courageous enough to dump you. Like,
and
you
Carl
guys
still like blames himself for
I know, and you convinced him of that, and now Carl's broken because of you, and that her baby daddy abandoned her. Like, let's talk about like that you did get pregnant within months of meeting this guy, and it didn't work out. Like, who would have thought that didn't work out?
No
like,
shit.
It's not because of your mom leaving you. It's like, it's because you suck and you never think about like what your fucking responsibility and accountability is here. Like, it's always Carl. It's always the baby daddy. It's always your mom. It's always somebody else. Like, your mom, your issues with your mom can inform that, but it's not the reason all the time.
Well, we're in that era where trauma defines you, and that does eliminate any accountability, because when I was a kid, something bad happened to me. So I get off scot-free with absolutely everything.
Yeah. And I don't believe Lindsay. I don't think she compromises with anyone. I don't think she meets anyone where they're at. I think she has these high expectations, and when people don't live up to them, because how could you? She blames it on her mom trauma instead of trying to figure out, how can I break this cycle? She knows she's in a cycle. Taylor Frankie Paul says the same thing. I'm in a cycle. These reality TV people love talking about the cycle of abuse, but I think they love talking about that because it's an excuse for them to never grow or change.
Yep.
Oh, it's the cycle. It's the cycle happening to me. I can't break the cycle, even though the whole point of understanding the cycle is to fucking break it.
Yeah,
like,
I understand the cycle. I hate generational trauma. I think I should have a kid. What?
Yeah. And when she was like, I don't know, I wouldn't leave my baby. Like, I believe she would leave her baby if the circumstances were right, which shows how bad she is and how bad this show is. I don't believe anything she says. I think everything she says is for the cameras.
It's all representative. Like, that's what she's given us to think, you know? Like, that's the thing, and that's the hard part, because at no point, at least in the edit, do we get Lindsay even attempting to be like, wow, why would my mom give custody to my grandmother when I was 2 years old? What was going on? And if so, is my life better because I had a stable parental figure than one that is willing to give me up?
Yeah. I mean, in the subreddit for the Taylor Frankie Paul stuff, a lot of people are like telling their stories about like, oh yeah, I was taken away from my mom and I know that it like devastated her, but it was the best thing for me. Mm-hmm. And like, I understand it devastated her. Like, you would think that motherhood would make her think about this in a new light. Not that her mom like was right to abandon her or something.
No,
but, like,
no.
wow, motherhood is really hard. I think I like empathize with something in my mom that makes me forgive her or helps me move past it or break the cycle. But the cycle's too useful for her to do that.
Well,
like the baby is useful. It's all props for her to like be annoying on this show and piss me off.
And I remember being in like my late 20s, early 30s, and like not, like I didn't, towards the end of my dad's life, I did not like him very much. And, you know, sometimes you'd be like, oh, you know, the phone works both ways, which is what she says. But that's such a like 20-something thing to say when you're like mad at a parent. You're not even recognizing that this person is maybe in their 60s and you ain't changing them. You know what I mean? Like, you either recognize, and we've talked about this on here, it's like you either recognize that this is the person that you are communicating with, or you attempt to try and change them and drive yourself insane while doing it. And unfortunately, like, we are not changing our parental figures. We are not changing anyone's mind who's older than us. Not to mention, like, I don't even think we need to be making a big deal about like, I've gone 6 years no contact with my mother and here's why my life is so much better because of it. No, who gives a shit? Like, you are now putting that person on a pedestal even further by making this like no contact thing a defining point in your life. Like, if you don't want to talk to someone, just don't talk to them. Like, that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be this life-changing moment that you have to, like, tell every single person who will bend their ear to you about. It's so lame.
Yeah, and use it as an excuse for, oh, I don't talk to my mom, so here's why I'm a bitch or suck to everybody. Like, you could fix things with your mom. That would be good television. I would love to watch you fix things with your mom, or at least try to, and then find out you don't want to. But that's like too real. Lindsay would never do something like that. She's too calculated.
She's got the James Kennedy effect, right? I think you said this last year. If she actually looked at herself in the mirror and like took accountability for everything she's done, she'd have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah. Did you see that James is getting married? And
he's doing the right thing. He got a 22-year-old knocked up, and so he's making her an honest woman. What a freak.
So depressing.
That man
he should not be a father.
Save that young woman. Someone save her.
Funny thing, though, is Kyle posted and said congratulations, and Janet, my addict ex-boyfriend, liked it.
Look, we wrote a book, Kate. It seems a lot of the James stuff is true, allegedly. We don't, you know, there's a lot of lawyers that read our book. What do these people know that we don't know?
Certainly he threw Allie on the ground, drunk.
Yes,
as
it's
fuck.
in the police report.
And also, you can watch like episodes of Vanderpump Rules where he is drunkenly abusing both Kristen and Raquel. Like, it's on television, so
I don't get it. But before we get into any trouble, let's take another break. Folks, VanderpumpRobs.com is where you can support the podcast, and RealityTVIsTheDevil.com is where you can pre-order the book in hardcover. And guess what? Kate and I are going to be making the rounds once that thing gets released, and we will sign your book for you. It's going to be great. We'll be right back.
Zack is so threatened by Rob. Threatened by Rob.
You kids have fun arguing semantics.
Thank God we get to Yvonne and Nick's wedding party. God, we really needed this.
yeah,
I
we're
mean,
here.
Danielle shows up looking stunning. She's fantastic, wearing a light hue of pink that some may say in the right light looks white.
It is very like poorly lit in there, and that, I mean, it looks white,
Yeah,
But
I would
do
say
think-
they color graded this in a way for that dress to look white as hell.
Yeah, I mean the lighting in there, I was like, is it white? And she looks great, so I'm not mad about it. And I also have never understood the wearing white at a wedding. Like, I wore white at my wedding because I was the bride, but I also look stunning because I look stunning. And if someone else wore white, I really wouldn't care.
I don't think Yvonne cared. I think she cared more to have a dig. And I think other people cared more about giving a dig against Danielle than actually her wearing something to a made-up party for TV.
Yeah, and she looked great. She really looked great. That was a beautiful dress.
Yeah.
Most of
Everyone
these
else-
fucking Bravo people are wearing Shein-looking outfits, especially Yvonne. That wedding dress didn't seem to be tailored well. It looked like Kate Middleton-esque, like lacy Shein, fast fashion polyester. It did not look good. So she was just mad that Danielle looked better than her.
I think it's so funny that this is so clearly a hapdash, slapdash event because Danielle's like, I had to text you a photo of the dress to say if it's okay for me to wear like 2 weeks ago because that's how much notice I've had. I had one gown in my house. I don't like just keep gowns around.
Yeah. God, I
And-
can't imagine if I was invited to something. I think I only have one cocktail dress.
I don't even
And you
have-
know what? It's white because of my wedding is where I have the cocktail dresses from.
I don't even own a suit right now, Kate. I should probably get on that. So, but
Yeah.
this whole situation has nothing to do with Nick or Yvonne. And which one do we want to start with first? Danielle and Owen or Kyle and Amanda?
Well, let me start about this stupid party to begin with, because obviously this party is about Yvonne trying to say I'm a party planner. I miss party planning. This room is so ugly. Like, I'm sorry, those heavy white satin curtains are very quinceañera. The light looks just bad. There are 1,000 glasses on the table. Nobody
Yeah.
is drinking wine. They're all drinking fucking shots and martinis and other glasses. There's so much on the table. I guess there's a nice menu. Didn't see anyone eating anything. It's like too small. It looked hot as shit in there. It's too small for the space. Like, there's no places to get away. Like, I guess it's great for what this was, which is this pressure cooker. Let's get a bunch of drunk, annoying people in a room until they yell at each other. But it didn't look like a nice party. Especially here, it's New York. I guess, what is it supposed to be, November in New York?
Yeah, because they're
I don't
about to
know,
have Friendsgiving is coming up.
It was just lit badly. It looked like the OC, the TV show, the OC from like 2004. Like, that's what the aesthetics were like. And you would think that as a event planner that she would really use this as an opportunity to like flex her muscles.
She
No.
gives a speech about it.
Yeah, a bad speech. I can't believe you needed an iPhone for that speech.
And on that note, I was watching a clip from Brittany's podcast. She uses her iPhone as her like notes sitting at that table. I was like, anyone who looks at their phone like when they're being like, you gotta be better than that. Like, give yourself note cards. At least use a freaking iPad or a desktop or a laptop or something. Like, the iPhone looks like you just wrote down some thoughts or someone texted you things to ask.
Yeah, literally bring your iPad and just have it set up like a laptop and then just have your notes in front of you. That's what I do. Yes,
That's what I'm
exactly.
doing right now. You know, it's insane to also think like, this is my big moment to give myself free publicity for my upcoming events planning. Let me read my ChatGPT ass speech from my iPhone.
All about like how life sucks so much. But hey, at least when you're married that you get health insurance and that your husband can pay for things. Like, really? That's your speech?
The
Like,
best
nothing-
thing. Sorry, I know. But the best thing about this entire wedding is just Andrea being like, I fucked my wife and then held her by her ankles.
I love that. Okay, I know I've had some criticism about people talking about myths of like conceiving and like how that's annoying because people get really anxious about trying for baby, etc. And I love him. He's like a cartoon character.
I know. Why
He's
is he
like,
not more
yes, I
of
hold
the
my
show?
wife by the ankles and shake her so my sperm reaches the womb. It's so good. It's so funny. Why isn't there more? There's not much of him.
He's so good. He was great on Summer House, and he's great here when we see him. Even when he like stands up to like yelling at Gavin and Kenny, he's just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, I just told a story from my point of view, and I owned up to the part that I embellished on. What? It's like he is good on here as opposed to Gavin, who continues to do the same thing. And I've seen people say they love this about Gavin. And yeah, I love that we have a shitster on the show. He just doesn't go far enough. He doesn't have a storyline. And I said this last week too. He just has the things to say, which you astutely pointed out is for a trailer or a sizzle reel or something like this, right? Like, oh, so Amanda smokes too much weed, huh? Amanda can't function without weed. Oh, Kyle, we're drinking a little too much. Oh, Danielle, I shared some gossip with you about the like, dude, anyone would do that on this show. And he's just sitting there on his like, yeah, he doesn't commit to it, and he looks like he's sitting on a phone book at this table.
Yeah, he doesn't. He looks cartoonish and not in a good way, like Andrea. Mm-hmm. But and because I would respect him more if in a confessional he's like, yeah, I just want to like these people are all fucked up and weird, and I just want to poke them with a stick.
They asked me to be on the show, and this is what I'm bringing. But he hasn't. But
he's trying to be all calculated, and he wants to still look good. Well, he wants to look so cool, and he's like the least cool guy that there's ever been.
What drink did he order at his own bar? Like a dry whiskey vermouth or something like this. I was like, shut the fuck up, man. Get the hell out of here.
I was confused when Kyle was like, I want a mezcal, but no spicy stuff because I'm shitting my pants. I was like, what do you want? This mezcal smoky. I don't like what's going on in here?
Yeah. So we get to this fight between Kyle and Amanda. Kyle gets angry and storms off. For some reason, this also becomes about Lindsay.
The fight is... I can't believe this. The fight, like, Amanda smokes too much weed and Kyle drinks too much. What's worse? Like, and all of the guys are like, smoking weed is worse because you're not fucking. And I don't know. Weed makes plenty of people fuck more. I don't know why that's the reasoning for it. And all the girls are like, well, yeah, at least you don't cheat on people when you're stoned. And I'm like, that's a better argument. Like, Amanda wins this. Like, weed is less harmful in this context than
in this
going
context
to sleep at
without
9 p.m.
knowing anything else. She wins.
Yeah, like going to sleep at 9 p.m. versus like having strangers back to your apartment at like 3 a.m. Like
because you don't love your wife anymore and are trying to subconsciously get her to leave you faster.
Yeah, the semantics here. Do you love them? Or are you in love with them? This felt very producer because Carl also said something like that. Yeah. Like they're always so obsessed with like the semantics of things. Like, I don't know what it matters if they're in love or just love. I don't know.
It's so stupid. And Lindsay's screaming. She starts crying. Yvonne says she's sick of people fighting, especially the person who showed up in a white dress. We're like, oh, okay, we're now going into Danielle territory. And Danielle's like, without hesitation, at the wedding dinner party, are you talking about me, bitch?
So good. Not only saying that, and then of course everyone's like, you called her a bitch. You called her a bitch. But then Danielle was like, I texted you 2 days ago a picture of this very dress, and you said I look stunning. And Yvonne was like, oh, fuck. Like,
yeah, I guess I did give you permission to wear that. And everyone's like, yeah, but if you had to think about it, then she's like, I didn't own any other dresses. And no, I'm sorry for calling you a bitch. You're a beautiful bride. But yeah, gave me permission. Plus, it's pink.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say after. Like when Lindsay came up with that half-ass whole, if you have to ask. Yeah, she did ask, and she said, you look great. Like, it's over. Yvonne lost. Like, I can't believe she would even bring it up. I guess she wanted to make it all about her, but she's lost control of this so completely.
And Yvonne, like, I think after this is when she, like, leaves the table to cry. And it's like, you should leave. You embarrassed yourself. You should have had a better argument than that. Like,
I would have cried. I would have been like, I thought I said something funny, a mic drop moment. And then Danielle one-upped my mic drop moment with an even better one. And receipts. Like, so good.
Oh, my God. Did you have any moments like this at your wedding? Kate?
I fucking wish. Like, they're talking about, like, why is this about me? Like, okay, I had some things leading up to my wedding that were annoying and pissed me off. Like, on my wedding's right after New Year's, and on New Year's Eve or Christmas or something, two of Ken's groomsmen who were brothers, got into a big fight with each other. And then one of them texted me and was like, it's annoying. Weddings are expensive. A guest costs like $150. And if people don't go, like, that's the person who could go. Like,
yeah, it's almost like if you're having a wedding and someone doesn't want to go to your wedding anymore, you could give that room up to someone who is going to be at your wedding.
Yeah. Like, and also,
looking at you, Katie Maloney.
These are men, like, who are going to walk down the aisle. Like, it changes numbers. It's a bunch of, like, fucking paperwork that I have to deal with in the days leading up to my wedding.
The most important day of your life, Kate.
Yeah, this guy was so dramatically like, I cannot see Federico anymore. I can't see him at the wedding. I'm sorry. And I was like, whatever. Like, I don't know if I responded. It was like,
you're
just
acting
in the
like a
days
total
leading
loser
up,
right now.
I was like, okay, whatever. Like, thanks for letting me know, I guess. And then the day of the wedding, he comes anyway. He just comes.
Oh, okay.
And then he's like, who am I walking down the aisle with? And I'm like, excuse me, sir. Like, you said you weren't coming. We replaced you with another groomsman, so the numbers would make sense. And so he ended up walking down the aisle with his brother and with one of my bridesmaids. Like, it was so weird that she was like double fisting brothers / her husband and his brother. Like,
and he didn't just go, oh, well, then I won't walk. I'll sit on the groom's side.
It was crazy. Like, and then he made a big point of being like, yeah, I'm doing dry January. And I'm like, I know why you're doing dry January, because you had a drunken freak out and had some huge family, like, emergency 3 days. It made my wedding part of your big fight with your brother. And like, it was so annoying. And that was only annoying. Like, it's fun to talk about now. It was only annoying because, like, I had to deal with paperwork and I had to deal with people, and the fact that, like, walking down the aisle and all that kind of shit was, like, annoying to me. But if that happened at my wedding, I would be like, sweet. Like, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to sit back and just watch. And my friends did get into, like, a huge fight during the wedding. And the fun thing is, as the bride, no one can say, Kate, figure this out. Like, they're all just like, oh, I'm so sorry this is happening to you, Kate. It's just so funny. But I'm not a bride who needs everything to be about me. Like, I don't like being the center of attention, really. I don't know. You weren't at the wedding, so you wouldn't know. I could be
true.
lying.
Not invited, but no, I'm just kidding. That is an amazing story, though.
Yeah.
I love that happened.
I mean, like, I love it, and I love retelling it. It's super funny. But if something like that happened, like, during the speeches, I would have just been like, this is amazing, incredible. I love the drama. People should get into more fights. I did rent out an entire bus to take people to and from, because my entire family's alcoholics, and people were just passing around, like, a giant thing of vodka. And I remember there were some fights, but they were all funny. I liked it. They should fight. Great. I would love if this happened and everybody was fighting.
Well, you know, folks, you can hear about more fights if you read Kate and I's book, Reality TV is the Devil, which you can pre-order at realitytvsthedevil.com. We'll be right back.
Zack is so threatened by Rob. Threatened by Rob.
You kids have fun arguing semantics.
Kate, we're still at this dinner. This dinner is taking up a lot of time in this episode. Kyle has walked away, apparently did maybe 10 shots and allegedly 4 lines of cocaine.
I I think I've done this before. Like, excuse me, I need to leave the private room and then go up to the bar and I'm like, please give me 4 doubles of mezcal.
Yes.
Make sure it's easy on my stomach.
No spicy stuff. I'm shitting my
Yeah,
brains
because
out.
he came back like slurring his words. I was like, you know what? Go ahead.
Well, Lindsay only operates on facts, and so this is why it's very disappointing for her. Not just for Kyle, but for Owen and Danielle. And now the whole argument has shifted from Kyle and Amanda to Danielle and Owen and their wedding. And this is what we talked about at the beginning, so we don't have to rehash too much of it. But essentially, Owen's like, yeah, we've been married on this date. We got divorced on this date. I don't know why you all care about it. And it's like, well, why didn't you just say that to begin with? And he's like, I don't know you. I don't need to tell you anything.
It's so weird. Like, they were like, you need to tell us. You've been hiding things. And then at some point, like, Danielle was like, I don't know why he needs to tell you guys, you crazy strangers that he's just met before, this information. And Lindsay goes, why are you on this television show? And Danielle is like, oh, that's why you're mad. You're mad because I'm on the show with you. And Lindsay's like, if you're going to be on the show, you got to tell us everything, which is fucking rich coming from Lindsay, who has not told us one thing about the disillusion of her relationship. She's only said he didn't support my career very vaguely, and that she would have given it all up. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
to be with
fucking
him.
right. And and we actually have to give credit to Danielle here because first of all, when she was like, that's what it is, clocked it. You just fucking told on yourself. She also could have then gone, hey, Lindsay, why is your baby daddy not in the picture anymore? Could you tell us all of those details of why you guys broke up here at this table? Or is there some things you don't want to say?
Yeah, because people have asked Lindsay that this season, and she goes, you're misogynistic, basically. Like, didn't she say that to Kenny or Gavin or one of those guys?
Well, she's Kenny's like, I hate men energy. And she's like, no, I just hate dumb guys. It's like, I think we know what's going on here.
Yeah, no, I think someone was like, well, what happened with your baby daddies? That's a crazy story. It is a fucking crazy story. And I think last season at Summer House when she was pregnant, when she was pregnant, people asked her and she was like, they were like, how did this happen? Huh? Like,
yeah. Well, Danielle's the only one that was ever like, this is insane.
Yeah. And like, she avoided it. She avoided saying it's a crazy situation. Like,
yes.
And you're not going into it and you're sitting here saying that Owen needs to open up about his open legal proceedings. Like,
yeah. It didn't even have to get to the point where Danielle's like, there are certain things we cannot talk about legally. I can't talk about it, and Owen definitely cannot talk about it. So that's why, Gavin, you don't get to know all of the details about a guy you just met. Sorry.
Yeah, I loved when she was like, you've never asked Owen his last name, what he does for a living, like what his interests are. You just need to know this so you can like dunk on him and make it be like weird freaks about it.
Yeah, and I love that like Owen's like, you really want to know? Here are the dates. And they're like, they got what they wanted, and it still wasn't good enough.
I love when people are so mad, and they're mad when they get what they wanted, and they're like, well, why didn't you tell us that before? What was so hard about that? Like, why are you hiding from the cameras? You're hiding from the cameras. I like Owen and Andrea. We need more Europeans on these shows.
Absolutely.
I think the European energy really like throws these extremely American type A people for a loop.
I'd love to know if Owen's parents were in the IRA.
Yeah, I think that
it's giving
would be
that
great.
like soft-spoken energy.
Are they Protestants or Catholics? Let's hear. Let's know.
I got it. Look, we'll do our digging for our Summer House book or our In the City book. But basically, this all gets flipped around because Kenny's like, or Yvonne goes, maybe someone give a toast to the bride and groom. And Kenny's like, I got this. We're all here. We're all obviously high on emotions. And I'd just like to say, we should all take a trip. And then Lindsay's like, oh, me too. I had this idea too. I want us, Kenny and I both think we should go on a trip together. And Yvonne's like, what the fuck, Lindsay? Like, this had to be said now? Like, what are we doing?
This I would maybe be mad about. Like,
Yeah.
if someone, you never announce someone else's stuff. Like, if I went to someone's wedding tomorrow and said, I have a book coming out. Everyone, I have an announcement about my new book coming out. Like, that's not okay. And I think it leaves it open for good drama later. And Lindsay is so irredeemable in this episode. Like, two things, like Lindsay saying, oh, I'm only doing that. Like, Danielle's like, why are you doing this? Why are you like Googling my boyfriend? Why are you being such a weirdo? And Lindsay's like, well, I care about you, Danielle. Danielle's like, yeah, right. You don't care about me. And then there was a great confessional where Danielle's like, yeah, like we fell out because I started having boundaries with Lindsay, something she hates because she sees boundaries as abandonment. And that I stopped being a yes man and saying, Lindsay, you're great about everything. And then Lindsay started to not like me. Like, anytime I was real with her, like, that's what happened. And you can see it happening here. And if she's not doing this with Danielle, she just like, Kyle and Amanda are the ones breaking up. And Lindsay's sitting here fucking sobbing, being like, my best friends are ruining their entire marriage. This reminds me of when me and my boyfriend, baby daddy of like 2 months, broke up. Like, I'm sorry, these people were married and together for 10 years. Like, this doesn't have anything to do with you. Like, these are Amanda and Kyle's marital problems.
I mean, her executive producer hat is on full display at this dinner, and it's
and
bad.
so is her Adderall hat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's not good at this. She might be in the future. She's not right now.
Yeah. She, I think, lost it in this dinner thing.
Oh, a bad Lindsay Hubbard edit on her show would be fantastic. Oh, hey, we might be getting it. But we'll see. Kate, we should wrap things up for this episode because we got a quick bonus episode to record after this. So, MVP, are we aligned?
Oh, yeah. It's our queen in pink / white.
Danielle, of course. I mean, she's kind of flown under the radar the past couple of episodes. I mean, the trolley episode, she had the big moment on. Didn't get much last episode. But this one, it's like we're bringing all hands on deck and calling out Lindsay for exactly what we were all considering and thinking was the reason to begin with. And that is, I said it before, perfect Lindsay Hubbard foil. Clock her on that shit.
Lindsay, why? I mean, Danielle's right. Why didn't you just, Lindsay, why didn't you ask Danielle about Owen at the beginning of the episode when everybody was talking? Just say, hey, everybody, like, tell me more about the timeline of your relationship instead of Googling it. Like, what Danielle's mad about is not that she's not giving enough, like, or whatever. She's not trying to hide. It's not like Nia and Danny or whatever. These people are acting crazy and unhinged about this.
And not in like a fun reality TV way. It is a manufactured way that is transparent. And you can see the difference between behavior that is entertaining to watch and behavior that is forced to try and be an amalgam of what we think we want. And that's the Lindsay side and then the Danielle side. Because the Danielle side is what we want to watch these shows for. And she's giving it to us in a very authentic way. And you don't even have to like Danielle to get that. Right? Like that, you can dislike Danielle and still recognize that that's more entertaining than Lindsay forcing a storyline with the help of Gavin.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that Lindsay didn't just text like Danielle and ask her is because then it gets wrapped up. It can't just be a big long thing that she controls the narrative of. Because then Danielle can just clue you in and then the storyline's over and that's that. But this just Lindsay trying to like produce this storyline about Danielle, and also trying to like, let's just be honest, nail Danielle. She wants Danielle off the show. She hates her. Like it just is. It was so obvious,
transparent.
What she was doing, very transparent.
Yeah. Well, another great episode, Kate. I'm so excited. I've been chomping at the bit to talk about our book, and I know you have too. Be cool if once it's actually out there. But apparently we live and die by pre-sales, folks. So go pre-order the book. Reality TV is the Devil, wherever you get your books. Remember, Kate's got another book out there you can get too. So if you're heading into Barnes & Noble, you should buy both of Kate's books and buy my one book. And, you can also support the podcast, see bonus episodes, video episodes, ad-free episodes at vanderpumprobs.com. And for that, we both appreciate you. And we will see you next time on Vanderpump Robs. Goodbye.